Hello, everyone. I think the first cat we got disconnected, and that was my mistake. Still learning, but that doesn't mean we give up. It's always an opportunity to see what didn't work first, and let's work on the next one. So let's see. I'm gonna bring Nicole in here, Courtney in here. I don't know why I keep calling Nicole. I'm gonna bring Courtney in here, and I checked the last video. We have all the bio there. So let's see if we can bring Courtney on and we can share our stories and interview of women around the world. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do it. Bring on camera. Let's bring on camera.
Hi, I'm
Okay.
back.
Take two. All right, take two.
Okay.
I'm so sorry about that.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and introduce yourself, my dear.
Okay, so I am Courtney, and some people consider me psychic. I'm more so of a spiritualist, and mediumship. My gift is more so channeling. I communicate with spirits. I actually have a spirit that is always with me, communicating with me, and they're always accurate. So, I started off working as a hairstylist, and I didn't realize that when I was talking to my clients, I was actually channeling, and I was um, like advising clients while doing their hair, and would be giving them advice that worked for them. I actually had a hair client that she just called me out of the blue one day. She's like, I don't know what happens, but she's like, when I like come around you, my hair starts growing. She's like, you gave me, like, I gave her advice to lose weight. All these different things start happening. And then I started really doing research on it and going to groups, and I figured out what I was.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 years ago, I decided to start a business, a spiritually based business where, like, I make jewelry and have candles and all that. And it really changed my life in the process of helping other people change their lives too.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I was reading some of your bio. You said that that was like a gift from God, and you said that you thought that you were just nosy on very or very vocal, very outspoken. So how did you come along to just finally say, okay, this is what's my gift. This is what's calling me.
That's a good question. I guess it just sunk in on me what I was actually doing. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know that I was like giving people advice and then, having people come to me for advice, and I don't know why, because I'm just as human as everybody else.
Mhm.
But it's like the things that came through me worked. So I guess it was just the realization that, me coming to realize what I was actually doing and what was happening.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. So So you did hairdressing. That was your career before you created your business, what you're doing right now?
Yes.
Okay, what else did you do other than hairdresser? Did you do something else?
That was mainly what I did throughout my 20s.
Hmm.
My early 20s, I did have corporate jobs, but
Hmm.
that didn't last long. So for the
Yeah.
majority of my adult life, it was hairstyling.
Okay. So Courtney, so one of the things is we have a lot of women who are dating, who are going into dating world, who left, who are going through divorces, who are trying to figure out if they are worthy, and one of the things that I admire about you is, you carry yourself so beautifully, and you are unapologetically standing in your power. So I want you to just share some of your experiences. How do you, I mean, where does that knowledge come from, the confidence come from, and what kind of tools can you give to the other ladies?
The first thing that comes to mind is not being afraid to be vulnerable. There's a lot of power in vulnerability. As women, like, we have a lot of people depend on us and a lot of people that need us, and we kind of put ourselves aside. But I think the most powerful thing that I've done recently is allowed myself to be vulnerable and to not be perfect and to be human. That's what has made me feel the most powerful.
So being vulnerable is your gift and share with the world. So that's also where it comes your strength as well. Wow. And you shared something that, oh my goodness, you said that you had a miscarriage and you know, you're in a relationship. How did you go about just to deal through that?
That was hard to deal with. To be honest, I'm still healing from that because when the whole thing took place, it was kind of like life just life just continued and I had to move forward.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
but the main thing that helped me to start healing was number one, seeking out counseling and spiritually based counseling and going to groups and talking to other people, and just really letting it out, along with journaling. And the biggest thing that helped me was just like coming to the realization that that wasn't my time to be a mother and that wasn't the person that I was supposed to have children with. And
Mm-hmm.
now I'm actually grateful that it happened because my life would be completely different if I had have had a child with that person or if I had have married that person. Um,
Hmm.
I'm grateful for where my life is now because I have gotten a chance to really grow as a woman before I
Hmm.
become a mother, so I can still heal all the things that happened to me in my childhood. And I've gotten a chance to really heal, to be able to raise people that don't have to heal from me raising them.
Hmm. Hmm. Wow. I love that. I love how you said the healing. I feel like we are always going to be healing.
Hmm.
You know, there's always going to be work. We're going to be healing. And that is just an ongoing work. And I liked how you also took the fact that you are not ready to be a mother. You know, that was not the gift at that moment. At that, you know, and to look at because a lot of women will say, you know, I lost a child and they're stuck in that loss. But looking at it as like, you know, there's something else that came along when you're not ready. That's beautiful. Wow. So, how long have you been doing your business?
I'm almost into 2 years now.
Okay.
March.
So, March.
Hmm.
Okay. So tell me about more about your business. What exactly do you sell and where do you sell it at?
Well, it's the Violet Room or violetroom.com. It's spelled a little bit differently, but it's mainly online right now. I am thinking about a store just because metaphysical products are a little bit better purchased in person, with the whole energy. It
Hmm.
started off at first with jewelry, and then I added in
Hmm.
candles and sage, and then I added in crystals. And it
Hmm.
actually has kind of shifted over mainly to crystals now.
Okay. Okay.
So it's mostly online. I am thinking about opening a gallery just for people to have somewhere to come and to be able to choose pieces. Or, with crystals, they actually kind of choose you in a
Yeah. Yeah.
way. So having a space for crystals to choose the people that they belong to is good. Um, I also do mediumship readings, mostly tarot and oracle cards. I am
Hmm.
really good at just, like seeing a person's picture and reading them too, but I do also offer spiritual consultations and readings along with all the other products that are on the site.
Awesome. How do you offer the spiritual consultations if the ladies who are watching this are interested?
They're over the phone. I do have
Okay.
video call, but there it's pretty simple. It's over the phone. I don't have to know anything about you,
Hmm.
but your name, and I can talk to you and tell you about yourself, and then read you. But they're done over the phone.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I love when you said the crystal chooses you. Okay, I've heard amazing things about crystals. I've never done crystal. I mean, I've never not done crystal. I've never explored myself with crystals. So tell me more about for anybody who is interested in knowing more about crystals.
Well, the first thing that I can tell you about crystals, how they actually help us is like everything in the earth has a vibration. Everything vibrates. And
Mm-hmm.
the average human brain on a lower scale would vibrate like around 40 hertz. The
Mm-hmm.
the brain of a genius would vibrate around like 82 hertz. And crystals, like a crystal like clear quartz, actually measured, it vibrates at like 30,000 hertz. So crystals help by raising your vibration. And what I mean by raising your vibration is uplifting you. Like something as simple as like bringing a sick person roses or having flowers at a funeral. Those
Mm-hmm.
things raise your vibration. So we vibrate between 40 and 80 hertz. And then a flower like a rose will vibrate around 380. So it uplifts our vibration and uplifts how we feel. So that's the main thing that crystals do. Um, I feel like they're just gifts in the earth, gifts put in the earth from God to us,
I love that.
to help uplift us, to help with the space, to help beautify the space. If anything, they're just really beautiful. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
more than that, they help us manifest, they help us vibrate higher, they help us think clearer. There's so many benefits to crystal healing and just having crystals in your space.
I
And
love that.
I've developed kind of a love affair with crystals.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah, I like that. And also, crystals, you the other thing, you do you do anything crystal with money as well?
a lot.
No. You do. Okay. So tell me more about that. I'm very curious.
I can actually show the newest thing that I'm getting into working with is I actually have some pyramids cut. And let me
Hmm.
grab one of these pieces.
Okay.
Um, like a smaller pyramid would be something like this.
Hmm.
This is
Hmm.
citrine, or a larger pyramid would be something like this. This is a larger clear quartz.
Hmm. Hmm.
And my experience with them is taking a crystal and writing your goals down and putting them under the crystal, or
Oh.
the meditation with the pyramid. The way that you meditate with the pyramid is you actually stare into the pyramid and imagine your goal being reduced down to small enough to being able to fit within the pyramid. And that's actually a way of reducing a goal, making a large goal feel small
Hmm.
enough to be attainable.
Wow.
So that's just
Be-
one example of how you can use crystals to meditate with money or with goal setting,
hmm.
especially clear quartz, because it can be programmed to basically do whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, so you guys contact her if you want to know more about money and the crystals, and that's a great information to know. So I knew a little bit. That's why I wanted to get more information from you. And one of the beautiful things I also love about Courtney is you love to travel. You're traveling different places, and I admire you traveling. So where would you like to travel next?
The place that I really want to go to the most is Greece. There's a pink sand beach
Hmm.
in Greece
Yes,
that I want to visit. But I have to wait until the summer. To be honest with you, I'm kind of like
we're slowing down there. Are you there? I think I lost you. Courtney, are you there?
I don't know.
I lost.
Yeah, a phone call came through. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I should have put my phone on an airplane drop. I forgot. Usually I do, but oh well. Okay, so you were talking about traveling.
Yes. So Greece is on the list. To be honest with you, with the traveling that I've done, I kind of
Hmm.
decide like a week or two ahead of time, and then I just go. which is
You don't plan like a lot of people plan like a year in advance. You just
no.
That's good. Okay, so what's the secret? What makes you just decide to just go a week ahead or 2 weeks ahead?
Decide. That's it's
You
simply,
just
and
decide.
it doesn't matter. See, the thing about it is not that I'm necessarily super wealthy or that I just have all these unlimited resources. Like, okay, I'll tell. I went to Toronto. I actually met someone in LA that invited me to a birthday party in Toronto because I enjoyed being with these people so much that I decided to go to Toronto to go and party with them. And they have
Yeah,
become friends now.
yeah.
Um, but when I decided to go to Toronto, honestly,
Hmm.
like I really didn't have a whole lot of money to just go to Toronto, but I
Yeah.
didn't let that stop me. I decided that I wanted to go, and by that next week, when I went, I had all the money that I needed to be
Wow.
able to go around in Toronto. So it's not some magical secret that I'm doing that makes me be able to travel or of course I am responsible enough to make sure that I pay my bills and all that different type of stuff, but it's more so like I'm just making a decision to do these things.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't want to have a countdown to Jamaica for six
Hmm.
months. Like if I want to go to Jamaica next week, I want to do that.
Yeah, yeah. So, so make the decision and figure out later.
It'll
Just make that
come.
decision.
To be honest with you, it's like you don't worry about the how. That's how faith works. Like I'm
Hmm.
totally living my life from faith right now.
That's
So you
beautiful.
decide that you want something and everything else will come together for you.
Hmm. I love that. You you decide to go do something and everything will come
Mhm.
together. Yeah, that sounds like a Paulo Coelho book. Like everything will come in your favor once you have faith, but you have to have the faith
Mhm.
and the strength to believe in the faith that you're going for. Wow. Other than traveling, what are your favorite things to do?
Okay, so this may sound strange, but my most favorite thing to do is nothing.
Okay, when you're just doing nothing, are you just like sitting down? Are you reading or just
Yeah, just
doing?
hanging out, maybe watching TV,
Yeah.
maybe finding something, especially right now because we're like in TV season. So I'm binging, catching up on shows, different things like that. But yeah,
Mhm.
reading, meditating. I think the whole mediumship thing is really easy for me to like trance out and kind of leave.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's like my favorite thing to do.
Okay. Okay. So one of the things a lot of people ask, they talk about, I heard you say meditation. They talk about meditation and they talk about praying to God and they talk about, they get confused. And I know you do a lot of meditation. Can you vary out the difference? What is meditation and what is praying to God, or what is it one thing of the above? Because it gets really confusing for a lot of people.
So meditation, prayer is when you speak to God. Meditation is when you listen.
Beautiful.
That's the difference.
Beautiful.
It's not clearing your mind because that's not something that's like possible.
Mm-hmm.
We always have thought, even when we sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of, I'm actually doing like a meditation webinar. This is a perfect segue. I haven't even made any announcements on it, but it's saying what you want, um,
Mm-hmm.
and then getting still and centered enough to listen to receive an answer.
Okay. So can you send me that information so I can also add onto this link of the video? So when I share it with everybody, so everybody can have that link to the meditation webinar as well.
Sure.
That's awesome that you're doing that. I'm glad you differentiate that because people get really confused. They think that you could do one or the other. I mean, I know that you could do both, so I'm glad that you differentiate that. Oh, okay. So one of the things that you were talking earlier was about, how you use your story, your not, having the miscarriage and how you use it as a gift. and then that you didn't have the child, but you're able to do other things, that other things came along, and in the relationship wise as well. But my question for you is really, how has failure shaped your life?
That's a really good question. Failure shaped my life by a lot of times giving me nothing to lose. Um, Having like really tragic things happen to me, especially things that are like self-induced, by me being irresponsible or me not making a good decision, it takes away fear. Like when you reach a failure, you can't be afraid to fail.
Hmm.
And like reaching points that are really, really super low at times, like that's the most liberating thing that can ever happen to you. It's not something that we want, but a lot of times it's what we need.
Hmm.
And a lot of the failures, I won't even necessarily say that it's a failure. It's more so of a redirection from God. A lot of the
Hmm.
failures was just happening to me was more of me being redirected into something that was better for me. Because that's always what happens to me. I can, like, the most tragic things that happen to me always are like a catapult into something way better.
Hmm. Wow. I love that. Failure is a shape of my life. See, every time I do interviews, I write those nugget moments, and I think and then I have my little handy book, because for me it's like a lesson when I'm watching someone and I'm listening someone and doing these interviews, because there is so much wisdom coming out when you hear people talk. And I love those quotes, and then I create memes, and then I put their author's name, which is your name on it, because that's how I learn, is by doing that and recreating and sharing it again. Failure is shaped my life by nothing to lose. That's powerful.
Mm. Thank you.
That, that's very powerful. What have you read that I should read?
One of my favorite books, he's actually become one of my best friends now. The very first day that I met him, he suggested this book to me. Um,
Uh-huh.
it's How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale
Mm-hmm.
Carnegie.
Yeah.
When he first told me about the book, because he was in sales at the time, I thought it was like a salesy like. And when I actually finished the book in 2 days, because it was way more than that. It's basically a book that teaches us how to genuinely see other people's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually really helped remove a lot of the judgment that I carried,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it comes to service and serving customers and stuff like that, and losing patience with customers. That's one of the best books that I can, or even in relationships with communication, really learning how to
Mm-hmm.
listen to other people. Like that's one of the best books that I can recommend for anybody.
Beautiful. That book has helped me a lot, because I used to be very shy. It has helped me a lot to help me grow as a person. But I'm glad, and I have it, so I should read it again. It would be nice to see, 5 years of growth, how I have, what I've learned. I'm sure when you read the book again, you can learn something else as well.
Hmm.
That's amazing. So, what have you done that I should do?
Book a flight somewhere and go.
Don't think about it, just book
Just
the money.
book within the next 2 weeks, or whenever you decide to do it. Just book a flight somewhere, and mainly somewhere that's not in the country.
Okay.
Book a flight.
Somewhere not in the States,
Yes,
somewhere out of the country.
yes.
Okay, book a flight.
Book a
Okay.
flight and go. And don't worry about how you're going to have money when you're there, or, of course you have to have somewhere to stay, but like basically book a flight and ask for everything to be given to you.
Book a flight and go. All right. And 2018 is coming up, so that's the best time to do the
Hmm.
the scary stuff. And have faith. I have faith. I'm so glad you said that because I questioned myself that, okay, I want to go here, I want to go here, and but I don't have the money. So have trust and then the money will come.
I've done that. I sat for years and didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And I just don't like waiting and planning out something 8 months from now or a year from now, as far as, well, really with anything. I want to just
Mm-hmm.
live.
Yeah.
And that has become some of the best experiences that I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I decided to go to Cuba, I went for my best friend's birthday, but we booked 2 weeks before we decided to go. And the whole time that we actually went to Cuba, and we had people cook for us. We had, it's such an inexpensive vacation anyway. But
Mm-hmm.
we met people that like brought us in and treated us like family.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you never know what may happen when you just decide to just go. You may meet somebody that takes care of everything while you're there, so you don't have to worry about the money. So you may actually go with money and then never even spend your own money.
That's good to, yeah,
So
that's true.
you have to let go of thinking about, okay, well, I can't do this because I don't have money for this. Now you have to just let go of all of that and just decide, I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's the way that I've built my life in the best way recently, is just making decisions that I was going to do what I wanted to do regardless, and it happens.
Beautiful, beautiful. I was sharing posts as the holiday seasons were coming up and people were buying bigger TVs and were buying all the products. I was just sharing all these moments
Hmm.
with people to focus on experiences, building experiences instead of spending money on buying stuff that's just going to collect dust because that's just stuff. It doesn't add the value in their life. Like travel to a place, build those memories and places you've never been or travel to a new place. So I really believe in in that sense of lifestyle, because when you travel, you gain so much experience. You gain not only the food, you get to understand the culture. I'm originally from Mozambique, so I traveled a lot when I was younger, and I understand that we live in a society where yes, we think America is great, but it's nice to go to a different country and see how the world is, how they view the world in America, how it is, so that way they have a different perspective because we are really taught different way of living here, but it's not, you don't learn until you get to travel.
Very much. That's very true. All the places, every single place that I've been, especially out of the country, the main thing
Hmm.
that I can say is everywhere else that I've been, there's no ego like there is in America. It's very different.
Wow.
Way, way, way less ego. It's actually
Hmm.
something that I had to adjust to, especially being in Cuba. Like a lot of the things that like are, that make you attractive here or that people care about here, places like that, people don't care about any of those things. So it's a
Hmm.
little bit of a shock and it's an adjustment. And it's almost like if you go and you're really egoic, you won't last long, or people, like it won't be any
Hmm.
fun for you. But when you
Yeah.
let go of that and you like open yourself and you trust a lot of the ways that we don't really do here, like that's what makes the experience the best. But out of
Hmm.
everywhere that I've been, even Canada, like it's totally different. The ego is like they don't have it like people do here.
Hmm. Hmm. Yes, and it's huge. And I think also ego limits us to grow and being open and to have that opportunity to have an open-minded. Because once we let go of the ego, we're just so much open and have flexibility in our mind, and we can learn so much, and knowledge comes so easy. It's just that, but we don't. People don't understand that too. So yeah, wow. Is there anything else you would like to share, Courtney? It's just like lots of stuff. So I'm gonna have to watch this video later so I can write good notes too.
Is there anything else that I would like to share? Um, this is something that I think people need to understand. This is something that I just learned.
Hmm.
We need to start thanking the earth. for the provision that we are receiving. Especially with me getting all these crystals and visiting mines and different things like that, I actually had someone read me and tell me that that's what I need to be doing, because it's like we're just digging and digging and digging and digging and digging and receiving and receiving and receiving, like it just belongs to us, and all of this stuff can stop. Um, like even the whole concept of, or the whole plot of the movie Moana,
Mm-hmm.
how, you know, a beautiful mountain actually turned into a volcano. The
Mm-hmm.
amazing thing about that is crystals actually come from dormant volcanoes that have crystallized,
That's right.
but those are not, it's not something that's guaranteed for us. A
Mm-hmm.
volcano is something that can basically erupt again at any time. This is a
Yes.
realization that I've come to. So when we receive something from the earth, even if we're not vegan, it's not something that we all need to be. But if you eat an animal, thank the animal. Something is really, really important for us to start doing is just simply saying thank you to the earth for providing for us. And not just thinking that all of the different things that we receive on a daily basis are just given to us or just meant for us or that they're ours. The
Mm-hmm.
earth is providing for us.
I love that. Wow, that's powerful because I spend a lot of time in nature and I look at the trees and I'm walking on the pavement and I'm creating a path and I'm watching all those birds and all the wildlife. I never realized how grateful it is to have those wonderful things in my backyard. And it made me think that now that I go take that walk in nature or go take that hike in nature, to be thankful for the earth, for the path, for the birds, for the trees that has fallen down, for the other trees that's nurturing and protecting the environment to create that forest what it is today, for all the birds that's there and that's doing this ecosystem that's helping one another, and that the fact that I am alive and I am well and I am in this environment. So that gave me a totally different perspective. Wow. I had an aha moment right there. You see what happens when you listen? You gain so much knowledge. I'm like a sponge. Okay, so I wanted to ask you, how do I, I mean, who should I know that you know? Who is someone that I should know that you know?
um, okay, so I mentioned him when the person that actually gave me the book, his name is Ivor.
Uh-huh.
He's actually become one of my really, really, really dear friends.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what can I say about Ivor? I would describe Ivor as like he would kill me if I said this, but like he is like a a wizard.
Okay.
And he doesn't know it. Like he's the most powerful manifester that I've ever met in my life. Anything, and he has no limits in his mind.
Mm-hmm.
When he decides on something, he does it. And that friendship actually helped me to become more that way.
Mm-hmm.
And he really inspires me a lot because um of that, just simply of that. Like we had a conversation back in 2016 in the summer
Mm-hmm.
about private jets. And I told
Mm-hmm.
him that he was going to own one. And he didn't tell me that at first he thought I was crazy. But
Mm-hmm.
now he's just now this summer called me. He's like, you know, I think I'm ready for a private jet because I spent 3 hours in customs in Cancun and I just don't want to travel like that anymore. So now he's in a place where he's able to get one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I would say him because he's like one of the most inspiring people that I've ever met.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And he has created that path
Hmm.
to ask for what you feel that you deserve, and ask for, don't be intimidated to ask for things in life and to walk in your path. Sounds like been a very powerful person in your life. That's amazing.
Yes, someone that has helped me to start asking for bigger and expecting
Mhm.
bigger and believing that I can have bigger, because he does not, you could tell him that he may be the king of another country one day, and he'll, in his mind, he'll be like, oh, yeah, maybe that's something that can, he has no limits.
Yeah. Hmm. Well, wow. For the women out there who are afraid to ask for what they want or to ask for what do they deserve, what would you share with them, Courtney?
To women that are afraid to ask for what they deserve, um, this actually almost, it strikes an emotional nerve for me, because um like now, the place that I'm in my life now, thinking back maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, the life that I thought that I wanted, I'm glad that it didn't pan out, because it wasn't good enough for me. As far as, if I look at myself through God's eyes, what I thought that I wanted for myself wasn't nearly good enough. So I would say, step out of how you see things, step out of what you were taught about life, step out of what your mom said, step out of what your dad said, because they meant well, but it might not be right for you, and step into what God sees for you, or what the universe sees for you, because it's always bigger and better. um, that's a way of letting go of what you think you don't deserve. Step out of what you see and step into the vision that God has for you. And if you can't do that, just simply ask for it. Simply ask to be shown, God, help me to see what you want for my life. And then be willing to take the action that's necessary to get there, because sometimes you might have to book a flight and you don't know what's going to happen when you get there.
Out of this conversation, I took one thing that I'm going to walk out with today is book that flight.
Book the flight, because you never know. You never know. Even, the night that I met Ivor, I actually wasn't gonna go. And I had a friend say no. I was like, oh, I'm so tired and I didn't want to go. And she's like, no, you need to get up and you need to come. We're gonna go out. And I'm glad that I went,
Mm,
because that's one of the friendships that changed my life. So, but I actually
mhm,
met him in Dallas. I didn't meet him. I live in Atlanta. I didn't meet him here.
mhm.
So if I had a never went, if I had a never decided to go,
Mhm.
I would have never met somebody that helped me change my life. So I would,
God was confirming that you're in the right place and you met the right person
mhm.
for him to be there.
So I
Wow.
would say that's my biggest, that's the best way for women to see that we, I won't even say, because I still feel like my life can be better than what it is now. I know that there's much better that's coming, but there's just a process of development that I'm going through as a person, and there's also some purging that I have to do to like get rid of some things that don't serve me, that are within me.
Mhm, mhm.
But that's the biggest thing, is step out of what you see just for a second, and step into like the bigger plan and the bigger purpose for your life, and see what God sees for you.
Mhm.
And you'll let go of the limits that you have in your mind.
Yes, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Step back. I love also how you said, let go what your mom said, what your family said, because we hold on to so much of those old traditions that passed along because it worked in that time of the year for them, but we're in different times and we are a different human being. We have grown, so we are so scared, especially as women. We get so scared to recreate ourselves, redefine our identity, and we get so scared. I think it's probably the trusting the of us to create that new person. So we would rather stay what we're taught, what we know, what is comfortable, instead of changing that. But to all the women, I mean, out there that I talk to in the community as well, that they don't feel that there is something beautiful. There is something, there is a freedom. But for them to get to that process, they have to go through the process of letting go, of learning to be that new person and welcoming the new them. So I'm so glad you said that, because we are really taught that in, in modern days.
Thank you. Yeah, the main thing is a good way to learn to let go of how you were taught to live is understanding that, like, just like you said, the advice that you were given may have been with your best interest at heart, but it's
Mhm.
also advisement based on what happened in the 70s or what happened in the 80s or what happened in the 90s, or it's advisement based on, you know, what someone knew from the past, but we're no longer
Mhm.
there.
Mhm.
And if you want, you have to really think about, do you want to relive their lives, or do you want to live your own and create your own?
Mhm.
And even with creating your own, like really taking a step back and looking at, is this what I really wanted for myself? I actually asked myself that because, like, I'm single and I live alone and I really don't have like visitors in my home. My home is really nice, but I just thought about it. Like, if I had a husband, how would I want my home to look?
Mhm.
And my home is really girly. And I know
Mhm.
that it wouldn't be like that if I had a, so I'm just thinking about, if I live this way, or if I was a millionaire, how would my home look?
Mhm.
And to start mimicking those things, to like shift the timeline. But that's a good thing, is really taking a step back and looking like, okay, whose life am I living, and whose life do I want to live, and what am I creating for myself?
That's wow. Whose life am I living and what am I creating for myself? That's beautiful. That is so beautiful. Oh my goodness. You have added so much value in this interview, and I can't wait for all the women to hear this. And I'm going to share this on YouTube as well, so that way people, they can have it later. And I'm going to have a ton of notes that I'm going to read. So you got, so for anybody who needs to follow you or needs to find you, where is the best place they can find you?
Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook. It's just Courtney Potter. There's a million Courtney Potters, but you'll see my
Okay.
hair.
Okay. The big curly hair, you
Uh-huh.
guys. She's
And
at
then
that.
Instagram is,
Okay.
that's I put up a lot of information on Instagram.
Hmm.
It's the Violet Tribe, and Violet is spelled VIOLLETTE.
Okay.
And so it's the Violet Tribe. And then
Okay.
I also put up education on YouTube.
Okay.
And it's Violet Room. So it's VIOLLETTE Room.
Okay. Okay. Violet room. So I'm gonna also, all this information, I'm gonna attach it to this video, so that way they can just click the link and then you can direct them to your Facebook page, to the YouTube, and also to the Instagram. I don't think I have you on Instagram, but I'm gonna go ahead and like you and get the link and connect at the end when I'm done with the interview. And then Courtney, one more question. How can I add more value to you and to your tribe?
Okay, so this is a hard question for me to answer, because number one, I'm not used to people asking me what they can do for me. I'm always used to
Mm,
people needing something or needing some form of advice.
wow.
So I feel almost like I don't have an answer.
Wow. So you're used to giving,
Mhm.
time to You're not used to
Right.
receiving. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. Wow, that's huge. You know why, Nicole? I'm not Courtney. I don't know why I keep calling you Nicole. Courtney, I, last year I had made a goal to start receiving because I'm also a giver.
Mhm.
I give a lot. I give into my community. I give into my tribe. I give into my family. Everything I give, I give. And then last year, I made a goal as a 2017 is I'm going to receive. And it was the hardest thing to do because when I said that, and we'll have these intimate trips somewhere, and we'll go somewhere with a bunch of women, and then they would ask to come and pick me up. Before, it was me picking everybody up, but now it was someone offering to pick me up, even though I had said no. But then they reminded me, and this is, remember, one of your 2017 was to receive. So you're not going to say no, you're going to receive. So there was increment moments of like that, which was really hard. So I hope you take this with you and start thinking about that, because I think as women, as mothers, as wives, as girlfriends, as aunts, whatever, we give so much and we're not used to receiving. So what I will do is I will put all this information down and put it on a YouTube and make sure that I connect if anybody has any questions, they can reach out to you. But thank you for being so honest with that answer. That really took me back. That really did.
That's something that I do need to work on is the art of receiving.
Yes, yes, you are give 100%. That is amazing to see that because I could see myself there a year ago.
Really.
I could totally see myself. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much for doing this interview with me, Courtney. I really, really appreciate it. I'm going to have a ton of notes. I'm going to share it later in my documents as well. And I'm going to put everything together for you. If there's anything, anywhere I could support you, let me know. I'm also I'll look forward to getting that meditation webinar from you so I could link and then also share it on my Facebook post for anybody who's interested in meditation webinar.
Okay, yeah, I'm actually, the information will be out most likely January 1st. I have the
Okay.
information for the class. And
Okay.
the projected date is January 20th. So,
Okay, January 20th. Okay, wonderful. Thanks so
thank
much. Well, you
you.
have a wonderful, is it evening already? It's 3 hours difference. I know we're 3 hours difference, right?
Yeah, we're getting into the evening here now. Yeah, it's almost 4 here, but yeah.
Okay, well, you have a wonderful evening and we'll keep in touch.
Thank you. This actually helped me to reconnect with myself a little bit
Really?
because I'm, again, like, I'm more used to like telling other people what they need to do. I'm more used to listening to other people, and I'm more used to either talking more about other people than
Uh-huh.
myself. And then if I'm not really talking about, if I'm talking about myself, it's sharing an experience to help someone else,
Yeah.
but I'm not used to a lot of focus just being on me outside of the focus being on me giving.
Yeah.
So this helped to kind of, for me to reconnect with
Hmm.
myself, and I may you may see me on a vacation.
She's flying somewhere, guys. She's not gonna be on vacation. She's not gonna be available.
Like in the next maybe week and a half, who knows? We'll see. But
So, one of the things I think it really it helps is I follow you. I might not like everything you post just because I'm just like looking because I'm looking. I admire what you're doing because you have courage to do things that a lot of women to hope to do, to wish to do, and you inspire me when you book that flight in a week to go somewhere. I want you to know that you are also inspiring a lot of women to do that. So the fact that you came on this interview and shared your story and you gave your time to this community, I'm really really inspired and I'm so so grateful, and I took a lot of knowledge and nuggets today, and I had aha moments too that I'm going to create meme and I'm going to and tag you to it so that way you know that you are inspiring me every day and so many other women as well. So thank you so much for making this happen.
thank you so much for inviting me. I really appreciate
Yeah, absolutely. Take care,
it. All right,
Courtney.
have a good one.
You too. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.